Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our program brought to you by Benedict Construction. Are you thinking about a remodeling project? Then do yourself a favor and reach out to Benedict Construction. They are the custom remodel specialists of East Tennessee. Dan will take care of you. If you give him a shout, I'm sure he's the guy that'll call you back, whether it's a bigger kitchen, nicer bathroom, or just a whole new home. Benedict Construction. And right now, let's go over to the Benedict Construction big board. We're going to talk failure, not failure. We'll see how many of these you can read. They may be too small for you, so I'll read them out loud. Reasons it was a failure this year. The top goal was to win the East, and UT didn't, period. End of story. Failure, you had two bad losses. The blowout by Alabama, and you were upset by South Carolina. Another failure, you had control of the East Division. You wasted it. All right, not a failure. Without injuries, Falls don't lose the division, and I fully believe that. Not a failure. Snap the 10-year losing streak to Florida. Remember the whole, just beat Florida and I'll be happy. Yeah. Then the not a failure. UT has won 8 games and beaten Florida and Georgia in the same season for just the 4th time since 1992. 92, 98, 04, and 16. I may be stretching on the not a failure list, but guys, failure, not failure. Media folks, you handle it before the players. Was it a failure?
Yeah, it was a failure. I think the goal was to get to the East. I also think you throw the injuries in. That's the reason it was a failure. I think if you don't have the injuries, you don't fail.
You also played the #1 toughest schedule in America.
Played the toughest schedule in America. So, yes, it was a failure, but there was reasons that you failed. Not excuses, there were reasons.
The script's still to be written, but I'm going to say not a failure, because if you end up winning more regular season games and you go to the Sugar Bowl, I'm having a hard time saying that's a failure. That's still better than what you did a year ago. So I know the East was a goal, but I'm going to say not a failure, provided you do those two things.
I was going to say, I think a lot of it comes down to the outcome of the Vanderbilt game. Because if you lose to Vanderbilt, I think it is a very strong case. Yes, it is a failure.
There's no debate.
There is no debate. But right now, I think there are some very disappointing aspects, but I would stop short of calling it a failure because there were also quite a few significant accomplishments that don't put into the failure category to me.
But see, to me, it's a failure because you didn't meet your expectations and you didn't meet your goals. However, if I'm playing a game for $1 million and I only win $500,000, well, I failed. But I still did pretty dang good, and I still think Tennessee did pretty dang good, but you failed at what your ultimate goals were.
But if I get to the Sugar Bowl, does that not trump the East Division?
I want to say no, because
in my
I
view,
think
it
you were
would.
playing for a championship.
I think it does.
We debated this one on the open day.
Yeah.
You've gone back and forth
I've gone back and forth about it, but here's the deal:
you're
since they're
waffling.
not playing for the SEC East or the SEC championship now, you failed in getting there. So in any given season, you would rather go
failed
to
in
the
terms
Sugar
of
Bowl
your
than play
biggest
for the
goal.
SEC
#1 goal.
championship.
But let me ask you
take
this:
Sugar Bowl in this
if
situation.
you beat Vanderbilt, okay, it's got a very good defense playing at home. Looks like a good football
It's gonna
team
be a tough
now.
game.
Yes.
And they're playing for a bowl bid.
And then you go to the Sugar Bowl and beat Oklahoma, say, in a thrilling game. You going to tell me this was a failure?
Well, here's the thing, it's the way people define failure. You're right. You failed to reach the goal. I agree with that. You have to say that. You failed to reach the #1 goal. However, people want to treat that as if you went 0-12 this year.
Yes.
That's crap.
Like
That's like an infant thinking like that. That's remedial thinking. You can't sit there and say, well, we didn't win it all, so it's good. Back to the first segment.
You know,
I'm not going to watch any games if they don't win the title. Are you a baby? Are you 5? Can you not enjoy this? There's plenty to enjoy this year. Again, how many people now who are screaming for heads and saying it's a failure were the very ones who said before the season, just beat Florida and I'll be happy? It's, failure. Yes, I think it is. We'll see if the players do next. But is it complete and total disaster?
No.
No,
As
not
some
even
in the media were
remotely
saying yesterday?
close.
No.
Yeah,
Not
we're
even
split on the
remotely
failure
close.
because Chuck and I don't think. Now, I think the script is still to be written, as I said.
Oh, if you lose to Vandy, get back to
Yeah,
Vandy.
no,
It'll
I'm
be
not
a
getting
real
back to
failure.
that. I'm not.
Yeah.
But if you get to the Sugar Bowl and you win it,
Yeah.
I don't think that's a failure at all.
Agreed.
See, I think you can have successful failures, though.
Well, no, that's,
I mean,
you don't think it's a failure at all. I think your #1
If you
goal
do
is win
that.
the East. But
Right.
okay. All right, very good. We'll see what the VFL say. When we come back on the Sports Source, let's see if the players think about failure. Come on back.